once you pass that rookie contract, now like the top 10 guys, top 5 guys are asking the standards is a 4 year, $100 million contract.
Straight up out the gate, I'm too.
My podcast is called The Playbook, so today we're going to be going by plays that I live by. We're going to compare each other's playbooks. Today's exact topic is you are your own brand. What's good, Ben? What's going on?
What's up? What's up? Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Like, I keep it real as fuck. I don't know if you've seen my videos. My videos are real. Like, I'm out there on the street ball courts. I get grimy. Like, I keep it real as fuck. So I want to know, like, the mentality behind it, and we're going to go deeper into it. I just want to give everybody a quick intro about yourself if someone doesn't know. Tell me a little bit about you, like, quickly, the 30-second rundown, the type of person you are, where you're from, anything you want the people to know.
All right, so my name is Benjamin. I go by Juice because of my last name, Saint Juice. So I'm French Canadian and Haitian. My dad is Haitian. My mom is French Canadian. Born and raised in Montreal, Canada, up in the cold. Now playing for Washington Commanders, going on my third year as a defensive back. And outside of football, I'm a very creative, very fashionable guy, and a very knowledgeable guy. I love to learn stuff like culture, travel, learn about other people's, and that just feeds into my creativity as a person. So that's me.
Yeah, the creativity. That's the French in you, the fashion, right? That's the French Canadian in you.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So I'm sure you live by your own brand. I just told the audience, like, you're a beast. You're 25, correct?
Yes, sir.
25 years old. You've clearly been making plays for a long time that got you to the league. And I also told my fans, I don't know much about football. I know that, there's a quarterback. I know people get crunched out there. I know there's some crazy catches. There's one thing I do know specifically, though. You're a cornerback, right?
hmm
Okay. I don't know much about cornerbacks, but there's one thing I do know about them, and that's they're allowed. They're one of the only. Well, everyone's allowed to hit the fuck out of people, but you specifically are allowed to hit the fuck out of people, like just absolutely obliterate them.
No, that is true. That is true because I mean, D line and O line, they're so close to each other, so the impact is not as big. And then linebackers, obviously, you could argue that they hit a lot, but as a defensive back, like on the backfield, like when you got a receiver coming in, like in the middle of the field, and you have that much speed coming in, you can really fold people in half. Like,
When you really when you hit the fuck out of somebody, like, do you look down on them? Are you just trying to get the job done? Like, what's your mentality going out there? Because I know there's some real sickos in football that just want to crunch somebody. That's like their job, right? You're getting paid millions of dollars to do this, but I want to know how you feel. Like, do you feel like, when you hit somebody, going to the crowd, getting teed up, going to your teammates, looking down on him? Like, what's your mentality behind it?
of course, I feel like every hit like creates some sort of energy and momentum for your team. Um, they kind of change it with the league now that like you can't like flex or do anything like disrespectful towards an
Yeah.
opponent, like and they're gonna flag you now. But honestly, like you said, any hit, any big hit, like that's you always head hunting on the defense. Like that's your job. Like that hit can create some sort of spark for your team. Maybe you're behind, you 21-14, you hit this guy really hard, get the crowd pumped up, get your team pumped up, and then that creates that enough energy to go out there and make another play, a turnover, or a touchdown, or whatever. So that's the beauty of that sport. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. Once you do it, it just creates some inside of you that you're like, ooh, okay, we got
Yeah.
something. Like so.
Yeah, bro. When I used to go into like big games, like for a lot of money, competing, just even if it's just like for like $1,000, I'm putting money on the line. I
Yeah.
used to watch shit like Animal Planet, where I'm seeing like cheetahs just attack their prey before, just to get on that demon time. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
curious, how real is it in the NFL? Like how like, besides you or yourself, like how real is it in some of these people's mentals when they're going to, like, to hit people, to because you say like it's a spark in the game that's created from a hit, but like, are people really out there to like to spark up the team, like on demon time, basically? Like how real does it get, basically?
Yeah, I mean, you got different type of players. So you got some of the guys that are very technical, they're worrying about their technique, their job or whatever and all that stuff. And not every position is gonna hit as much. But then you really got some bounty hunters. So you got some headhunters like
Yeah,
out there on the team. Like we got a guy named Derek Forrest, number 22. Like he's a missile. Like he will find whoever's got the ball and he will crunch them. And you could just see that transformation in the beginning of the game. Like as we walk into the locker room, we talk and it's kind of friendly, and as the game gets closer, you start guys getting more quieter, got their headphones on, and then it's kind of like they turn into that killer mode. Like that's crazy. For an hour and a half, 2 hours, they turn into a killer mode, and then the game is over, and then they go back to their regular selves.
Yeah, nah, football is the closest thing besides hockey and rugby and some other sports. That's a team sport where you're allowed to obliterate somebody. You know, you can't get punished for knocking someone out if they get knocked out. If they shit their pants, that's their problem, right? So I'm curious, when it's your goal to hit somebody, is it a 12 out of 10 you're going, because I've seen some of your hits like just like knocking people down. Is it a 12 out of 10 you're going for, like you're going for that extra little bit? Is it an 8 out of 10? Are you just trying to, are you one of the most technical guys? Like what's your style of hitting someone, taking them down on that possession?
I'm one of those guys that won't miss that many tackles. So, like like a offensive player gets to me, like he might not be worried about like getting tackled as hard, but he's for
Yeah.
sure not getting any extra yards. I think like my rookie year, I missed like one tackle. Then last year, I missed like maybe like two max over like 12 games. So, like once a guy has the ball in front of me, like there's not much he can do. Like I'm gonna get him down. Like just because of how long and tall I am, like it's really hard to get around me. So that's my
So
style of tackling.
you're like a precision guy.
Oh yeah, precision. Once it breaks into the open field and it gets to me, like it's for sure getting down.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you're familiar with basketball, but I relate a lot of my stuff to basketball or soccer. So I want to talk about like heated moments and rivalries, whether you have them or not. When I'm on the court and someone's talking crazy to me, like you're allowed to bump somebody. There's no rules. You know what I mean? You're allowed to bump somebody a little bit extra hard. You can
Hmm.
drop somebody. You can dunk on them, like I said, in flex. And I know there's rules against that, but you know, if you're going on against in a rivalry game, or there's a heated moment, or there's someone on the other team that's just talking crazy, um, are like, do you go in there and hit that guy extra hard, like, or again, is it just staying calm and keeping that technical aspect?
Nah, I mean you can stay calm all you want, but I'm gonna talk for me. Like I'm very competitive, and I feel like that's what brought me to the level I am right now. Like if you're not competitive, like a competitor, like once that trash talking start going on, once the guys raise their level of competitiveness, and you don't match it, and you just can't match it, that's where you just get lost in the sauce, you know. So for me, like I'm a quiet guy. But like if I go against a receiver, a top receiver, and then the guy start talking because he's making plays and all that stuff, I'm gonna raise my level of competitiveness and like play it and like and match it with him because that's just that's just who I am. That's in like my DNA, whatever. And I think that makes the game like better and it makes the game more fun because then after that you're going back and forth. There's some trash shit going on. There's some big hits, guys pushing each other and whatever. And at the end of the game, it's all respect. But both of you guys raised your game because you knew that you were trying to see like who was really the top dog, you know? So
Yeah, I want. There's two more questions I have regarding the actual sport itself. If there's a guy that's like super high ranked that you're going against, like the top guy, were you trying to prove yourself if there's a high ranked guy and really like get in his grill, get in his shit?
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, especially my first year as a rookie, naturally they're gonna go after you. You know, on the other side, we have a veteran that's been there for 6 years, so they're like, okay, he's established himself, so let's throw out the rookie. So this is your job now that to make the offensive coordinator and the team on the other side like say, okay, this guy is nothing to play with. Because naturally, like I said, they're gonna go after you because you're a rookie. That's the normal thing to do. They want to test you. They want to see if mentally you're strong enough to cope with the fact that maybe you're not gonna make all the plays, but then can you bounce back? So yeah, every time, especially if I play like like a big guy, like let's say like a Devontae Adams or Stephon Diggs on my rookie year, like I try to bring my 100% every play to let them know that like, yo, I'm here and
You're
I'm not
here.
backing down just because I'm a rookie, So
Yeah. Is there any specific like trash talking moments you could give me that we would never hear as the audience? The audience would never hear, like you're going back and forth with the guy. Like you have any stories, either from college or the league?
I would say mostly like in college, like when I was at Minnesota, they had me follow their top receiver all game. And then as a receiver, you kind of see that, yeah, okay, like you following me all game, you because you think you're better than me. So then it would just create that little spark. So I would say like Maryland had a top receiver, and and when we played Auburn, they had a top receiver too. So we were just going back and forth. There was like, yo, you think you can follow me? You think you can guard me? And all. So I was like, yeah, I think I can, and I will. Like, and they was talking from the first quarter to until the fourth quarter. And what's crazy about me is I'm a quiet guy, but what mess up people like mentally is that even though the receiver is gonna make a play, he's gonna make like a 10-yard catch, I'm still gonna get up and talk my shit to him, and he's gonna be like thrown off. He's like, whoa, like, I just made a play and you still talking? Because I'm gonna keep the same energy, regardless if you make a play or I make a play, all the way into the end of the game to see if you really have it mentally, if you're tough enough to go like against me and talk that trash, you know?
When you're on the road, I'm curious to know like what are the teams. I know you're a Canadian. I'm Canadian. I'm from Toronto. Actually, we're Canadians. We're good guys. We're good. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're good. We're good boys on the road. But I'm curious if you have any stories, maybe yourself. I don't know. What are the temptations on the road? Is it expensive restaurants? Is it steakhouses? Is it going out to the club? Is it resting in the hotel? I don't need to hear from you personally because, like I said, we're Canadian. We're good guys, right? We don't do crazy. No. But I'm curious. What are the temptations?
I'm definitely not a guy going out. I gotta get my rest. I'm big on my rest, so I can't go out like before day of the game. I gotta rest
Yeah,
well. I would say definitely a nice dinner. Obviously, we're trying to find the nice steakhouse, especially the DBs. Guys like to get like a good meal in. So, we might be an Ocean Prime, a Steak 40, Steakhouse, Ruth Chris is like her to go to place like every time we on away games. So yeah, that's what I would say.
people want to know the life of an athlete. What's some stories that you might have heard around the league where it's just like stupid shit that you just shake your head where you're just like, that's not me? Because clearly you're the consummate professional. You're in there, you're resting, you're eating, you're recovering properly. I'm curious, have you heard anything around the league where it's just like, what the fuck?
Man, I mean, recently I'm not gonna say any names, but
Nah, nah,
I'm
nah,
not
no,
gonna
no
say it.
team, no names, none of
Not
that,
gonna
none of
say
that.
any names.
It could have been way back. It could have been way
They're
back.
not in my league, but so I was working. So I had a lot of marketing stuff, events, and opportunities at the Super Bowl, and I was also working media stuff with for and the sport network from back home for Super Bowl weekend in Arizona. And obviously, there's always events at night. There was events on Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday night, and even Sunday night. So then we attended those events because obviously, like I'm this off season for me, like I ain't got no curfew, I ain't got to wake up,
Chilling.
I'm chilling. So I'm at those events until like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then I see those hoopers, from the NBA. I'm not gonna name any team,
Oh,
but I see those
the
guys.
Hoopers.
I see the hoopers. They got their squad with them. They're rolling 4 or 5 deeps. And then I see them Thursday night until 3 in the morning, Friday night until 3 in the morning, Saturday night until 3 in the morning. And then I see them Sunday around, events and all this. I'm like, hold on now, you guys not practicing? You don't have a game? Because I know like NBA
God
be playing like,
damn.
they play one day, they play on Monday to get 2 days break, then they play like on Thursday or Wednesday. So I'm like, how come you? And then you have practice in between now. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of like the crazy lifestyle that some of the guys be having.
Yeah. That's wild, bro. And that's crazy. I was going to say, because football has a way slimmer, shorter season than ball.
Hmm.
So I'd expect it to be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I've always thought to myself, football is a sport where you got to be grungy, you got to be a demon. You've kind of established yourself. I was going to ask you, are you one of those loud trash talkers? But you kind of established you're more of a silent killer, yeah?
yeah.
Would you categorize?
Yeah, I worry about my game. I worry about my technique. But if you want to take it there, I have it. I have it also. I have that game with me. I just don't want to use it constantly because it can take you out your own game sometime. Which is the crazy part. Some
Yeah.
guys like they start trash talking, but then they take themselves out their own game because they so worried about what they're gonna say next or what's gonna be the next argument. And then they're like, man, I forgot that play. Or man, I let that play happen. So I try not to fall into that.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those guys that's trash. I love trash talk because when I trash talk, my game elevates.
Yeah,
And there's some guys like that. NFL is known for having some of the biggest head cases, like big head cases.
yeah.
What are some of the characters like that we don't see on the field, like you said, or like I said? Do you have any encounters with some of these head cases, and how do you handle them? Like, are some of these guys crazy? You don't have to name names. Maybe you do. I don't really care, but I'm curious how those head cases are, what they do.
For an example that I know that I've seen Chase Young on the team, was a number 2 overall pick on the 2020 draft out of our state. Won defensive rookie of the year and all that stuff. So he had the accolades to back up his talk, and he was constantly talking. It don't matter if it was pregame, postgame, in practice. Like he used to like turn around and be like, "Hey, yo, Juice, hey, they're not running on this side, man. I got all this blocked up." Like, and that was like before the play. I'm like, okay, I was worried about myself, but he just up talk. I feel like he just needs some guys just need it. Like it's like
Yeah.
you think they're talking to the other guys, but they're really just talking to themselves, trying to motivate themselves and keep themselves going. And it, like you said, it kind of just raises your game up. Because then after that, people hold you to the expectation. The guys are like, okay, this guy's trash talking. Let me see like if he's really about that. But he's really about that. So Chase is one of those guys that also is contagious. You know, when you start trash talking and
Yeah.
you can back it up, like your teammates are okay. Like I'm a hype too. You know, so
What about like the real grind? Like, have you ever heard some real grimy stuff, or is that just from the movies? Like, I hear like I see movies and they're talking crazy. You
yeah.
don't have to name names. I'm like, what's the craziest shit you heard on the field?
Oh my God, the craziest stuff I've heard on the field. Man, I
You don't
mean,
have to repeat it, but just give me
yeah,
an idea. I need to know.
I ain't gonna drop no name, but you know, I heard like some guys talking on the side, like on the sideline from the like offensive guy talking to defensive guy when they're on the side, and you know, guys turning around and bringing bringing their girlfriends in, bringing the wives in, talking about that. They're like, hey,
That's
you
different.
better watch such and such because I heard this, that, and then you're like, oh yeah, we gonna bring the wife, the girlfriends into the game. So like that's you can hang a
Nah.
personal string right there. So yeah, I definitely heard that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Are you married? Just personal question. You don't have to share if you don't want
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
You have
I
a
got
you have
married.
a
I got married last year.
okay. So yeah, I have a fiance now. So for me, it's like if that gets brought up, bro.
I
For me, it's tougher because I'm a trash talker, so I have to hear that. I'll probably hear it. For you, you're more of a silent killer, so I'm sure you probably don't hear it as much.
yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
That the family stuff or the wife stuff never got brought up. I feel like it never got to
Yeah,
that level. But I'm just saying, like I heard that before. Guys are
yeah,
gonna take it that because they know that's a personal string. You know, you might get a guy out, out their element. And I know if you've seen it in the NBA, I remember there was that famous Kevin Garnett, Carmelo Anthony moment. With La La. So like things like that,
yeah.
guys. They don't take it lightly.
We're gonna take it to the business side of things, the money and finance side of things. I'm a big finance guy. I'm a big money guy. What's your salary, if you don't mind me asking, or if you don't want to share that? What's the average salary for your position?
Yeah, average salary. So average salary right now, I mean, once you pass that rookie contract, now like the top 10 guys, top five guys are asking the standards is a 4 year, $100 million contract. But as you come into the league, this is all public information that you get. So every time, that's the thing, every time somebody asks for more money, it's always a good thing for you because when it's time for you to renegotiate your contract, then you're like, hey. Like, yo, I have similar stat to this guy. I need 100 mil also. But as you come into the league,
Yeah,
I think last year for the rookies, the base salary was 750,000. So you make 750,000 regardless of where you were drafted. That's the rookie minimum. I'm going on year three, so I'm like touching like the first mills already. With
yeah. He's touching the millies.
so
We were right. We called you a millionaire in the intro. We're talking to a millionaire. Everyone wants to know the life of a sports celeb, and now you're somewhat of a millionaire. We're gonna categorize you as that.
yeah.
What's your materialistic thing that you spend your money on? Or like, are you a chill guy? For me, it's steak dinners. I have a little bit of jewelry. I'm focused on the cribs. Like, I'm
Yeah.
an investor. I'm curious, what's your materialistic thing?
Yeah, obviously, like I feel like I have a decent knowledge of like financial like literacy and stuff like that. But obviously, I like to spend money on nice things. I'm a big car enthusiast guy, so I love cars.
Yeah,
Not just to keep the car in the garage. Like I like to drive my car. I like to take road trips. I like to go to track. Take class and all that. So I have a Porsche 992 Turbo S.
ooh,
220 on the dash and everything. Like so.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But that would be my biggest purchase. I have a little bit of jewelry, like you said. I spend a little bit of money on clothes. I try not to be too excessive because you never know when all this stuff gonna be done. The football, the money, and all
yeah.
that. So you always want to have some money for a rainy day. But I would say cars is my biggest purchase.
So you're going like you're a big Porsche guy, or Lambos aren't in the talks
I
yet? What's your dream
I
car?
Porsche, like the car that I have right now is probably the last car I'm gonna buy because it's the best car that you can have. Porsche made the best cars. It's my dream car, and also the reason why I can't buy the other, I can't fit in the Lambo. I'm 6'3", so I can't fit in the
Yeah, yeah,
Lambo. It's
yeah.
not comfortable. I can't fit in the Rari. I can't fit in the McLaren, and so yeah, Porsche is a good fit for me.
So would you say that's the first big purchase you made with the paycheck? Is
Yeah,
the whip?
yeah, most definitely. I would say that, and then after that, I put half of my signing bonus into like an investment portfolio for like bonds,
Good shit.
stocks, and then a little bit to the side for a down payment for a house. You know, whenever the market goes down, because it's kind of outrageous right now. So
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you next. Is like you could like, let's just say the NFL ended in 3 years.
mhm,
We're not gonna talk about no injuries or anything like
yeah.
that. But let's say your career was over, the league shut down. I'm a big crypto guy, investor. I invest in some properties. What are you doing after the league? Broadcasting, businessman, fashionista. I don't know, influencer. What would you see yourself doing? Are you gonna become a rapper like some of these guys?
Nah,
What's the
nah, I
deal?
ain't got no bar. I ain't got no bars for you, bro. But I already have my brand called The Original. It started when I had to open my LLC, which is like for all the stuff that I do off the field. And I was like, how can I name
Yeah,
this? Like, what name can I bring? And I felt like in every aspect, it could be football, fashion, life in general, traveling. I always trying to be like original. Like, you see people doing some stuff over and over, and I'm like, okay, how can I do that, but in the original way that they're like, oh, this is like the Juice way, this is how he do it. So I named the brand The Original with an E because I'm also French, so original is spelled with an
yeah,
E, so you got a little bit of mix in English. And the quote, like the quotation, the little slogan that we have is "You design yourself." The longer quote of
that's
that
hard.
is "Nobody's built like you. You design yourself." So don't die a copy. Like stay original to yourself.
That's
Don't
hard.
don't don't try to copy somebody else, and then you just end up you lose like you lose who you are. So when we started doing like ready to wear stuff, we have some tees, we have some shorts, we have some tote bags, some sweatsuits, and we're slowly evolving in the fashion world and streetwear world. And that's probably what I would do like after football.
That's
I,
hard,
I
bro.
would take
That's hard.
I would take my money, and I have a big love for fashion and really trying to pour it into my company.
Yeah, we got the new Juice Vuitton right here, bro. So he's gonna send me some. He's gonna send me some of the clothes. But Cam, I need you to plug in his stuff, show it off. I definitely need to see what that's all about, bro. That's hard. I respect that because you got something else other than football, which a lot of people don't have. That's all they have. You know what I mean? It's just football. So
Yeah.
props to you. The last two things, bro. It's very quick. I'm curious. We just talked about salaries. We just talked about all this materialistic stuff. Inner circle plays a huge role in that success, in that upbringing to even get to that success. I'm curious, who are the main people in your inner circle? Like if you need to get bailed out of jail tomorrow, if you're in trouble, if you want to go work out at the gym 4 a.m., who's your inner circle that's coming with you or been there?
Inner circle, definitely wifey. Wifey got to be there. She's been
Yeah,
there since 2017. She ran track at Michigan. I played football there. We met there. She understands the life of an athlete. She supports me. So definitely wifey gonna be there. Little bro is following my path too. He's a corner. Going D1 this year, first year in college. So he's coming with me. And, I got to show him the path, and keep him by my side. And um, I would say pops, and moms got to be there. Obviously, they're the big reason why I'm here. They sacrifice a lot of things for me to be in the NFL. Um, and probably I wouldn't. I have some good friends, but I don't want to pick like a specific friend, like just to make anybody else
yeah, yeah,
jealous. So
yeah.
I'm gonna bring the parents. I'm gonna bring little bro, and I'm gonna bring wifey, and then if we have some room, we're gonna bring some of the good friends. But I don't want to pick and choose.
You got to show Lil Bro the ropes, bro. What happens if you and Lil Bro go at each other? Actually, you would never play
I
against each other like that,
I
though.
could now, after 3 years,
Woo!
he's gonna do 3 years in college, he could declare and be a rookie, and I'm gonna be on my sixth or seventh year. So yeah, we could go against each other. That would be great. I feel like that's a dream country. Playing against like family and at the highest level. So
Yeah, that's crazy. I had a story a long time ago. I was in Hawaii playing college ball, and I was lost in Hawaii. We were supposed to be staying in Honolulu. I took an Uber like 2 hours away. My phone's at 1%, and I was lost. Okay, and I called my mom. That's my inner circle. My mom, the goat. 1% on my phone, she got me back to where I needed to go. I'm curious, you have any crazy stories, maybe not as crazy as that, with your inner circle that you can share that they've done for you? Like, are they in the lab with you at 3 a.m.? Like, what's some crazy shit that you could tell me?
oh man, I mean, I had a crazy story. Like when I was in college, like I took my first ever. That was like after the first year I was dating my now wife. Um, like her parent. I never met her parents. They never met me. Parents never like they didn't know we were dating. And we're like, yo, we're in Michigan, so we're
Oh
like,
man.
let's take a trip. Like, let's go to Toronto. Like, I'm gonna bring it.
Oh.
I'm gonna bring you to Canada for the first time. Like, I bet. So we drove. Like, mind you, the parents don't know we're driving. She's not supposed to leave the country. This like one of the first times she's like driving outside the country, and we go there. We have a great weekend. Last day, we want to go to this nice breakfast spot downtown. So we on Queen Street, and she drives the car. She's trying to park. She's trying to park and go into the parking garage and crash the car on Queen Street. But now, not mind you,
Nah.
we can't call the parents. I can't call my parents
Hell
because I
no.
didn't tell them, and I crashed the car, and the wheel is about to fall off, and then I need to replace the wheel. So I'm like, damn. But I called my dad, and my dad, like being the OG that he is, like, you safe? He's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm safe. And is she safe? I'm like, yeah, she's safe. She's like, okay, the rest is just material things. We can fix that. As long as you guys are safe,
Yeah.
we can fix the other thing. You can explain yourself. And then obviously, I had to explain myself to the parents or why we were there and why we didn't tell them and all that stuff. But that's just, shout
But
out.
OG's got
Yeah,
you. OG's
shout
got
out to
you.
Pops for being, calm in the situation. They've been there, done that. That's the thing with parents, they think we don't know, but they've been there, done that.
And what were some of your favorite moments about last season?
I had a game, so Thursday night football in Chicago. Last play of the game, like 4 seconds left. I had the game winning, like pass breakup on Darnell Mooney. He ran a good route. Ball was in the air. I was able to like punch the ball out of his hands and then use my other arm and then bring him out the end zone like at the 1 yard line. It was crazy. I mean, you look it up or you can put it on the podcast or whatever. It was a pretty crazy play. So that was cool. Got the game ball. And then I would say the second best moment was being the undefeated Philly Eagles in Philly on Monday night. They went undefeated, I think 11-0. Nobody believed in us like to
Yeah.
beat them, and we ended up beating them. So that was a great moment.
Going forward to next year, I heard you guys might have a new quarterback. What's your
hmm
thoughts? What's your thoughts on going into next year? Are you excited? What's your mentality going in?
I'm always excited for a new opportunity, honestly. The fact that I'm still here, healthy, playing, going on year three, being a starter, it's all I can ask for. For me personally, my goal is just to have like a full season, like healthy, all 17 games plus the playoff and Super Bowl, all healthy, no injuries, so I can really show my worth and show how much of a baller I am.
Yes, sir. If you could go 4 or 5 years back, would you do anything differently? Is there something that you wish that you did? I just want to tell the audience overall, like, what's something they could focus on? Like, if you could go back, what's something our audience could focus on to add to their playbook? We'll cap it out.
I don't think honestly like your story and your progress and how you came up is who you are. That's what
Yeah.
built you. So I don't think I would change that much stuff. You learn from your mistake. You learn from the barriers that you go through in life and all that. Only thing I could say like to the people listening or whatever is like listen to the people that have a little bit more knowledge than you. Listen to the people that been through what you've been through. Don't be hard headed thinking that you can do it your way. Like, it could be your parents, it could be your role model, it could be your mentor, or whatever. If they tell you like hey, this is how you should do it, because I did it and I failed. I listen to him. The pain of discipline is better than the pain of regret. I think that's how it goes. That's a quote that my coach used a lot. But you'd rather learn from someone's mistake than your own mistake, because your own mistake gonna hurt more than like learning from somebody else's mistake and be like, okay, he do it that way. Like, let me make sure I don't do it that way.
Yeah,
So
no, that's wise words, bro. That's wise words. I appreciate having you on here, bro. A lot of things people can learn. A lot of things people can go back and do themselves. So I appreciate you, my guy Juice. I need some of that gear, by the way. That shit sounds hard.
yes,
I'm excited for you, and this next season is gonna be killer. I hope to see you out there killing it. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me on the podcast, man.
Y'all look nervous, breathing all happy. Look, we gon' keep it going till it's raining confetti. I'm in the camera smiling, cheese, don't it look like some fatty? I got it.